Hi, it's Bella Cyber and Co from AriesFireAstrology.com. I made one video already about Ascendant Sun and Moon Synastry compatibility. So I'm continuing these videos. I'm gonna make, let me see. Okay, so in the other video I explained how to check your Ascendant Sun and Moon with someone else's, and I explained some details of how that could be going on, or why it's not, or whatever, which I should have also included. When you look at your Ascendant Sun and Moon and someone else's and which house it triggers, if you want to see more detail, you can look at the aspect of each Ascendant Sun and Moon and each Ascendant Sun and Moon with each other. And the degrees, definitely look at that too. Or, go to an astrologer like me and I would do that for you if you want to know more detail. So I'm going to explain this. I wrote down each one for you so you can know exactly, the whole entire list. Because I'm not going to make some videos like some other astrologers do. I'm going to make them a little bit different. So here, this is, I'll move it up then. So I put on the left here the letter Aries, Taurus, Gemini, G right there, that list, Cancer, Leo, Virgo, Libra, Scorpio, Sagittarius, right down there, Capricorn, Aquarius, Pisces. So when you look at this list, Aries triggers Aries first house, and Aries triggers Aries first house. So, and Taurus triggers Aries second house, and Aries triggers Taurus's 12th house. And Gemini triggers Aries third house, and Aries triggers Gemini's 11th house. On down like that. So let me get this. It's kind of annoying to see, maybe. I think you're going to be able to see that enough. So there's the first set of 4. There's the second set of 4. Leo, Virgo, Libra, Scorpio. Down there, Scorpio and Pisces, the 5th and 9th house. The last one there. For Leo is 8th and 6th. For Leo and Pisces. There. I'm sure you can make it out, even though it's not nice handwriting. It's just on the initials and everything. So anyway, when someone's when the ascendant sun and moon of one person triggers someone else's ascendant sun and moon, like the house, which one it is, it's always your ascendant sign and someone else's moon sign is the most, or someone's ascendant sign and someone's sun sign. That's the most. So for this, when I say someone's ascendant sign is in Aries and someone else's moon, let's say Cancer, for an example. That's a good example for 4th and 10th houses. So Aries and Cancer. So someone's ascendant sign is Aries. Someone else's moon sign is Cancer. Okay, excuse me. Let me start this over. So the best way to explain this is when someone's ascendant sign is in Aries, and to a lesser extent when someone's sun or moon is in Aries and you're looking at someone else's Cancer ascendant sun or moon, when the moon is in Cancer, or to a lesser extent when the ascendant or sun sign is, it triggers the 4th and 10th house for each one. So when someone's ascendant sign is in Aries, or to a lesser extent the sun or moon is in Aries, a Cancer person, the moon is the most, the moon sign person, the Cancer person triggers Aries 4th house. Because you count Aries, Taurus, Gemini, Cancer down from Aries to Cancer, so it's Aries 4th house. So Cancer is influencing Aries to be a part of 4th house things. So, and then when you look at it the other way, Aries moon sign. Okay, let's say this: Cancer ascendant sign, or to a lesser extent the sun or moon in Cancer, triggered by a moon in Aries person, is going to trigger the 10th house, or to a lesser extent an ascendant or sun sign Cancer person will trigger the moon or ascendant sun or moon Aries person's 10th house. So anyway, this list is in order. I don't know if you can see it that well, because it's on the internet, other places too, and some astrologers don't do it this way. Some astrologers just look at 2 sun signs, which isn't as much of an accurate thing to do. So anyway, if you can't see this, you can always ask me. And I have it on my website, like I said in the other video. It's on the first page. So whenever someone's ascendant sun or moon is in a certain order, these orders, it's going to trigger whenever someone's first house is triggered, like my ascendant sign's house is triggered, my ascendant in Leo is triggering the first house. The other person, the ascendant sun or moon of the other person that triggered my first house is going to be the first house. Whenever it's the first house for me, it's always the first house for someone else. Whenever it's the 7th house for me, it's always the 7th for someone else. Whenever it's the 3rd house for me, it's the 11th for the other person. Whenever it's the 4th house for me, it's the 10th house for the other person. Whenever it's the 5th house for me, it's the 9th house for the other person. Whenever it's the 6th house for me, it's the 8th house for the other person. Whenever it's the 8th house for me, it's the 6th for the other person. And 7. And then whenever, I don't know if I said it, which order I said it, if it's my 8th house, it's the other person's 6th. Or, like that. It's never going to be any other two numbers together, of each two people, whichever house is triggered. Because there's 3 Ascendant Sun and Moon of one person and then the other person. So there's only so many combinations you can look at, obviously. So if my Ascendant sign and someone else's Moon sign, is triggering the 3rd and 11th, it's never going to be any other, like 3 and any other number. So, first house is always going to be triggering you to be yourself more. And to have more confidence. To care about your appearance. Your physical appearance, like and all of these can be done in a good or bad way, a positive or negative, or nice or stressful way. When someone says something nice or mean, the Ascendant Sun or Moon is being triggered by the other person's. It triggers a certain house and something happens. It can be done in a good or bad way. So if I say something nice to you, it can give you confidence when it's the first house being triggered. Or if I say something mean because you're sloppy, that can trigger your first house, to wanna, take care of yourself and look better, not just sloppy or something. So that's pretty much the first house. 7th is always gonna be about equal give and take relating in your personal life or your business life. It's gonna be like someone treating you in a bad way and showing you that you want the 7th house to be triggered, like, equal give and take. Or it's gonna be, the person's treating you equally and you're treating them equally. So it's gonna be a nice time like that. And then, because Libra is ruled by the 7th house, or Libra rules the 7th house, whatever. Libra is a balance sign, the scales. So Libra is always wanting things to be equal and balanced. And if it's unbalanced, they get it balanced. That's the 7th house. And especially in, love relationships or business relationships or, just friends or relatives, whatever. Your Ascendant Sun and Moon. When one of those triggers the other one's 7th house, it's going to trigger your 7th house. And it's always about equal give and take relationships. So, the 3rd and 11th. The 3rd is ruled by Mercury, which is communicating and learning and skills and computers, technology. So, and siblings, so for one thing, when someone triggers your 3rd house in a good way or a negative way, whatever, it's gonna either be picking on each other in a good way, joking around in a good way, being competitive in a good way, or it can be in a negative way and make you, react to it. And pretty much all these houses, it can have a good outcome for you, though, if you think of it like that. Don't think of it as a really negative thing. The outcome of it you should, let it be, or help it be a positive thing. So I could give you more confidence to joke around with people, or to, lighten up and have a good time. It's also learning something new. So whenever someone's Ascendant Sun or Moon triggers your third house, it triggers you to want to learn something. Get out of your comfort zone and try something new that you've been wanting to, or that they told you about. Playing an instrument, or going to school, learning something that you've always wanted to, or taking guitar lessons, or whatever. So, and then there's the 4th and 10th. 4th house, when someone triggers your 4th house, you see in them something that you like about the 4th house. Like, the 4th house is your home or property. Maybe they have a good property, home, where they live. It triggers your 4th house to want to have that. And it's also your home, like children, so it could trigger you to want to have a family, settle down. Could be like you're not settled down and they are, and it triggers you to want to do that and be, a little bit more serious about life or whatever, and be have a family. Let me see. What else? 4th house. So the 10th house is your career. So when it's the other person's 10th house being triggered, you might see, their life, their career life, really nice, and you want that. So it influences you to make your career life, nice, and what you want it to be. Triggers you to maybe, do something in your business for that promotion you wanted, or if you're the owner of your company, then it triggers you to do something more to get to that level that you're wanting to be at. And then 5th and 9th. The 5th house is creative projects, children, romance. It's like dating, that kind of romantic thing. 7th house is more of a marriage thing. So the 5th house, someone could trigger your 5th house and make you wanna, work on that project. Like, you see them, their projects going well for them, and it triggers you to want to, get yours in order and get yours going, and have that for yourself. Or it triggers you to want to have kids. Or could make you have a good time with a romantic partner. Like just a fun time with them, a romantic time. It's one of the nicest houses, like that, like really, really fun and nice, and I don't know. I mean, it's really self-explanatory. It is what it sounds like. What it is, it triggers that to happen, So, but if you have questions, you can always ask me more, or whatever. 9th house is foreign people. It's foreign countries. It's higher education, like college. It's philosophy and religion, all that kind of stuff. So it could trigger you to, do something about one of those things. Like, it could, someone triggering your ninth house can make you want to go to college or, learn something, or it's travel also. It could, trigger you to want to go travel somewhere and, do something fun like that. It's, let me see, philosophy, so it could, trigger something in you to, in your belief system, it's that, so it triggers you to, do something about your belief system, like, have a different one maybe, or, do something about the one you already have, whatever. Let me see. I'm trying to think if there's anything I'm forgetting about that. If there is, I'll put it in the description. So the 5th and 9th. 6th and 8th. 6th house is like lessons and your health and, like, taking care of people. It's taking care of others in a service kind of way, like, so it could trigger any of those things, you to take care of your health better, or, anything like that. And lessons in life, it could teach you lessons about life, like hard lessons, annoying lessons. That's when you're learning something hard about life, and it's because someone's ascendant sun or moon triggered your 6th house. It's if you could think back on the lessons you've had in life about whatever, I don't know, can be like something to be more responsible about life, or whatever, I don't know. I mean, I can't think of an exact example at the moment, but you can think of examples. I mean, that's what it is. Lessons, hard things about life that you don't want to learn, to be more responsible about things. The 8th house. See, I'm not sure. Did I skip the 2nd and 12th? I'll get back to that then if I didn't. I might have started with the 3rd. Anyway, so the 8th house, though, it's sexual intimacy, it's inner demons, psychological things, letting go of trauma, like healing, So whenever the 8th house is triggered, when it comes to like inner demons and psychological things going on with you, it's going to make them bigger, first of all. Make it triggered. Like, bring it to the surface. So you're thinking about it and feeling stuff about it. And then you can do something about it. Then you can work on it, let it go, and heal it. That's what the 8th house does. Or the 8th house can, when you and your romantic partner are together and it's triggering your 8th house things, it's gonna bring up inner demons about sexual intimacy, like trust issues. It's gonna bring it up so you can let it go and be closer with the person and have those blocks, removed, so your, sex life can be better, that kind of thing. The person that triggers this 8th house of yours can be a good psychologist for you, a good friend, like a listening kind of a person, can help you, get rid of these things. That's what the 8th house does. In the 7th, we already talked about 8, 9, 10. We talked about all those. 2nd and 12th. 2nd is your financial matters. Your values, what you value. It's Venus thing because it's the Taurus house. Venus rules Taurus, so it's five senses. It's art and beauty. So it triggers you to want to have financial stability, maybe. It's gonna trigger like you to, take care of your finances better. To learn them, to, figure out how to deal with financial things like taxes, so you can, learn it and, get better at it. Art and beauty can trigger you to have some kind of nice time about that. Art, like creative projects or something. Yeah, I don't know. Let me see. The 12th house. That's the house of giving. It's a karmic house, so it's a one-sided kind of a thing. It's when if my 12th house is triggered, I will be giving to you. I'll be kind of giving of my time, giving of my, just attention to you, or it could be money. Could be, taking care of someone. Whenever someone is emotional, having a hard time about something, it can be, me giving of my time to you, listening to you, being a shoulder for you to cry on or something, or it could be like literally me spending money on you. It's the house of giving. Is the house that triggers. It really, when the 12th house is triggered, it's gonna make people have reactions. It's like when my 12th house is triggered, if someone is not thinking about astrology and the 12th house and what it really means, and they're having a hard time in their life or something, they're gonna think maybe they're using you. If my 12th house is triggered for someone else, they might be or might not be the kind of person that might use you for their benefit emotionally, or maybe not. It just might be a nice friendship where you're just, doing something nice for them. Like, I've had friends from the past, long time ago, where they just always, be going around helping people, being nice, trying to do little nice things for people. It's not always something scary or sad or using someone, but it is the house where if you know about it, like me, I know what's going on. So I can say, this is what I need to do right now. I need to be giving to that person, not like, say no, go away, leave me alone. I need to let it happen. I need to let this 12th house being triggered happen, the situation. Because there's something that they need. They need something from someone, like emotional support somehow, or, something else, whatever. I don't know. Because it could be different for each two people, the situation they're in with, whatever. My 12th house has been triggered, and I've also triggered someone else's 12th house before. Different people, many people throughout my whole life. So I've been on both sides of it. So it's a house. When it happens, it needs to happen. So just let it and enjoy it. I mean, and like I said, marriage partners can have this too. Many do, and have nice marriages. But like I was saying, it makes people react. Like, other people might see someone's 12th house being triggered and say I'm using them, or my 12th house being triggered and say they're using me. But when the 12th house is being triggered, it's the 12th house being triggered. It's supposed to happen. Ascendant Sun and Moon contacts with each other in synastry, which is two people's birth charts. It's supposed to happen for a certain amount of time, for some reason or another. And you also need to look at Pluto and, I mean, all sorts of aspects, like the sun and the moon, and which is what we're talking about. But anyway, Venus and Ascendant Sun and Moon. Look at all those things and see why you're in contact with this person, because there's some reason. It's not for nothing. So when people are reacting to it, they're reacting in the wrong way. It's not as worthless and bad as people make it. It's for some reason. So when people are reacting and saying someone's using you or you're using them, and it's because the 12th house is triggered and they can see that, but they don't know what it is, or that it is the 12th house. And or if they don't know that there is such a thing as a 12th house, but it is that is going on, it's for a reason. It's not just because someone is trying to use you. It's not just that. Like, it can be, but it's because there's something there, something needs to happen about the 12th house. So it's not something you should, avoid or be like, try to like make it go. If you see, the 12th house being triggered, if you see you're actually in a situation like that, like, let it happen. See how it goes. Try to get to know the person a little bit and figure out, why you're in contact with them, because there's some reason for it. It's not for nothing. So, especially when someone is having emotional problems, and I've seen it so many times, there's so many things, like, especially since I have psychic abilities, like, my moon is in Pisces, which is a really big psychic thing to have. I can feel people's emotions and stuff, and I always attract people that, not that I'm in a situation like some kind of a law of attraction situation where I'm letting them walk all over me, which growing up I learned that lesson not to. Because in many places people need to learn how to say no to people, so I have learned that. But I still attract people somehow. There's something there, and sometimes when someone's having emotional problems, because their life growing up, which could have to do with like a Scorpio South Node or something, anyway, or in the Scorpio, South Node in the 8th house. That's also like the same thing as Scorpio South Node. Scorpio is ruled by Pluto in the 8th house, inner demons. So when someone's having problems with that, and my 12th house is being triggered really much by them, and we're in contact with each other somehow, and keep being in contact somehow over a certain amount of time, there's some reason for it. There's something there. Don't like avoid it and be like, leave me alone. Like, see how it goes. See how, like, don't just be snotty to the person, be kind. So that's what I'm trying to say. When your 12th house is triggered, be kind to the person. So yeah, because that's what someone needs sometimes. Someone needs someone's 12th house to be triggered. Someone needs someone, to be kind to them sometimes. I've certainly had people be kind to me, their 12th house being triggered, throughout my life. So, anyway, yeah, that's that. So I think I covered all of the houses. If I forgot some detail, I'll put it in the description because I might have somehow. So anyway, thanks for watching the video, and stay tuned for more videos from me.